the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming this evening. First item on the agenda is public comment. Is there any public comment? Seeing none. Next item is the Police Citizen Academy graduation. I'll turn this over to Chief Mark Morrison.
Yeah, I just want to take a few minutes to recognize the graduates of the first annual Hampton Police Citizens Academy. Participants completed 15 hours of instruction over 5 weeks. They learned about criminal law, traffic stops, taser, firearms, and many others. Citizens Academy gave them working knowledge and practices of the Hampton Police Department's procedures. And we'd like to acknowledge each one of them with a certificate tonight. So we really enjoyed it. I know a lot of them enjoyed a lot of the classes, so it was a good experience for all. And if you come forward as your name is read, we have a certificate for you. All right, first up is William Hiddle III. That's you, AKA Bill.
Should we hold our applause to the end?
We'll hold our applause to the end. William Hiddle IV. Robin Hansen.
Thank you.
Terry Schwebke. I have it. Bev DeVries. Bill Hodge.
Ooh, I'll take his up there. Thanks for coming, Bill. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mitch Williams.
Nice. Yeah.
And Jennifer Burnham. And 3 others that couldn't be here tonight were Jay Schumann, Chris Vaness, and Dick Lukensmeyer. So thank you very much. And I think they wanted a picture with you guys, if they can stand up here. Can I stand behind them?
Sure.
Come up front. I'm guessing I'm not the picture man. That's
We
above
got
my
stairs
pay
so we
grade.
can put the tongs.
Council members up top, participants below. And
I know you're excited about that. Let me get your tag.
Alright, guys.
It was sticking out. Oh, you're all right. You'll be in the back.
Go, Bill, go.
I was just saying hi. I think they're gonna go in there.
Inside. Inside.
Oh, we need to, I guess we need to get out of the way so they can get in.
Usually I show people what's down there.
I know. Oh, Jim, get up
I'm
there.
talking about myself.
Jim and Jerry.
You're always in the front of the concerts too?
Well, short people are always in the front, so.
You can be up front with me.
I was always up front at the school concerts too. So.
Okay, we'll just all take pictures, sorry. I'll do a couple, so I'll just say 1, 2, 3, ready? Smile. Thank you. Great picture.
it's a good one.
See if we pass.
You've had them, you'll like them. Oh, yeah.
I used to have him here.
Hey, Mark,
Came and fish club
Mark?
all the time.
do you know when the next
the big
academy will
ones.
be?
We are in the plan on getting that done. We're thinking February.
Okay.
So it'll be next year, February. We got a little bit of input of what was good, what was bad, and what we can change.
Sure.
And so.
Oh, that's
we'll move
awesome.
it up just a little bit.
Great, thanks a lot. And congratulations to all the graduates. Okay, next item is the nuisance update. So who would like to go first?
I just looked a little bit before I came to the meeting, but we wrote 13 notices last week and then wrote 5 municipal infractions. So that's all I have for tonight, unless there's questions.
So who will be the new magistrate? How's that
Nellie
going?
O'Mara, Magistrate Nellie O'Mara.
Okay.
She's out of Rockwell, I do believe. So,
Is that gonna be okay, or?
yeah, I think so.
Good.
We've known her a little bit. She's worked in the area before, so yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Yep.
We got some other nuisance notices kind of going out the door pretty rapidly lately, it seems like. But one of the things I wanted to bring up today, and I think on Thursday night, I talked to Kels, we're going to have some photos. There's been some really neat transformations on some properties. If you've been up by the library, there was 2 properties that were served notices earlier this spring, and if you go to the library parking lot and then you just look southeast, wow, those houses are looking amazing compared to where we started with those. There's one just to the west of the fire station also that's had a pretty extreme makeover. So things are rolling pretty well, I think. But other than that, I really don't have anything other to add tonight. Just begging people, keep the grass mowed, keep things trimmed. We're still working on that. I know staff's struggling, so if staff's struggling, I know citizens are struggling. So anyway.
A question
ahead.
about, I had a call about the First Christian Church parking lot
Okay.
and the drainage situation there. What drain do we own? What drains do they own?
Right. They own the drain on the back side of that.
Okay.
And it goes into our storm sewer intake. Our staff will, from time to time, clean that out to try to help out here and there. I had quite the conversation with a person there that's responsible for some of it, and I keep hearing that, well, we're too old to take care of this stuff. We need you guys to do it. That's their comment, not mine.
Right, and she.
However,
Same to me.
right, so, but there are some people that have been observed too mowing their properties, and they'll get full of grass clippings and different things of that nature too, but it does dump right into our storm intake. But we clean it on an occasion when we see that kind of stuff here and there. But as far as a priority type thing, it's the ones on the street are more important to us than private ones.
So the parking lot drains into that, or the thing from the street drains into the parking lot?
The parking lot drains into that. The street does not drain into that.
Right.
Now, if we get a 500-year rain event, Pat, it's gonna back up, and it probably is gonna spill
Right.
out a little bit into there, but on a normal rain, no. It's supposed to
Right.
take, and then it'll head back to the west, so.
Because it does seem like it's higher than the parking lot, though.
It absolutely is. The parking lot's a lot lower. But as far as the floor of that, it's down below their intake, a little bit too, but yeah, yeah.
So the answer for her is it's theirs.
It's theirs.
But if we happen to drive by and see it's
We
clogged
can,
up, we may just, as
we
a
don't have a
favor.
problem to try to help them if we
Okay.
can.
All right, okay. Thank you.
Kim?
I got a few things I'd like to talk to you about after the meeting. How about what's going on up in 700 First Street Northwest? We had complaints about unlicensed vehicles, and half of them look like they're junk. It's the old lumberyard.
Oh,
Oh.
yes.
We have a notice out to him. He got some vehicles registered. They don't all have plates on them. I did drive up there today with Doug, and we talked about meeting him tomorrow.
In addition to that same address, he and I had a conversation earlier this spring. He's supposed to approach me with a plan on rehabilitating those buildings.
I was taking some stuff to the compost site today, 3rd Avenue Northwest in Olive, that intersection. There's a bunch of trees growing up, and that's deterring the visibility.
Right?
Can you cut them,
Yeah, so
or is that the county?
can I talk to you after the meeting?
Okay, Now,
about that.
along the lines of that,
Yep.
when we mow South Federal, can't we mow both sides of that 10th Avenue and, or 10th
Yep.
Street and 3rd Avenue?
Yep, with the Batwing. And
Okay.
we could talk about that a little bit. I know it's in the plans for the guys.
I don't know who's in charge of the water cart, but it was over on one of the side streets over 5th or 6th Street today.
It was at my house. I was filling it up with gas.
Is it licensed? It's like a,
Cities.
it's like an oversized golf cart, you know. I don't know if we need to run it around on side streets like a golf cart. It's kind of, who's liable for that if something happens?
Well, we can look into a better way to fuel it up, I guess. We'll look at what options there are, so,
We also go to the conservation for the water,
yeah.
so we'll look at that.
You know, that's, we've had people that wanted to drive golf carts on the side streets, and we,
Well, I talked to our insurance company about the fact that it's gonna be used by volunteers, and it's okay, I mean, so, but I'm not saying, you know, that every scenario
well, I
is
didn't
gonna be
know what was
okay.
going on. I didn't know you lived there, and so that's all I have for questions.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have any questions for Doug or Mark? Okay, good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next item is an update on the traffic camera legislation impacts, and I'm assuming that's you,
Yes,
Ron?
thank you.
Thank you.
So, House File 2681 was an act relating to automated traffic systems, including traffic law enforcement for capture of registration plate images, providing penalties, and including effective date provisions. That was signed into law by Governor Reynolds on May 17th. And in Section 3 of that, there's a new section, 321P.3, use limited. Number 2, a local authority with a population of 20,000 or less, based on the most recent federal census, shall not use a mobile system to issue a citation for a traffic violation. So basically, this ends the interest of any camera companies from installing cameras in cities, because there's nothing in it for them, you know, if no citations can be issued. So just wanted to.
Is that for side streets or all streets or highways?
All streets. It doesn't designate
Thank
DOT
you.
versus non.
The small towns are getting the shaft because we've already had the property tax cut. We're losing tax dollars there. And if we had a chance to make some of that up to help fund our PD, it would be a blessing. But apparently, they're just looking out for the big cities.
And the communities that currently have them in place, they will have to file with the state DOT for a permit to continue using them. And so they're all gonna have to go through processes, and they all will not get approved, of course. There'll be some denials, so the ones that already have them are not necessarily grandfathered in, for sure.
One restaurant in Charles City offers 10% off your bill if you present your ticket to them at the time of payment, because they think it hurts their business.
Interesting.
Anything else on that? Anyone else have any questions at all or comments for Ron or in general?
Well, so there was a study done. Where's the results of the study? Whether they were gonna do them or not, I think that somebody can at least share the study with us.
Well, the studies were basically traffic patterns and speeds for certain time frames. And so if they were to put cameras in, that's where they would recommend putting them. And basically, the most of them are on the corridors. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mark. Yeah, where now the DOT has placed their speed signs.
Okay.
We suggested other locations, but they didn't, it wasn't equitable for them
Yeah.
Right.
to put them on the side.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the review of the draft open records request policy update. Ron?
Thank you. So this is a draft the city attorney worked on an update for the library as well as City Hall. They're slightly different, of course. This is the City Hall version. I also got some input from Allers and Cooney on this that I had some questions on. So this is an open records request policy. The purpose of the policy is to facilitate public access to open records in compliance with Iowa Code Chapter 22. It provides standards and procedures for the examination, copying, and retrieval of open records, including associated fees, if there are any. The city clerk acts as the local custodian for all open records requests. Requests may be submitted in person, in writing, including written communication conveyed by electronic means such as email and/or by telephone. To facilitate a timely response, all requests made in writing should contain the following: name, address, telephone number, email address of the requester, a description which is sufficient enough for the lawful custodian to identify the requested records, and the requester's signature or e-signature. Requesters may use the standardized request form available at City Hall but are not required to do so, and that form is on the back of the second page. They're not required to use that form. Requests may be mailed to City Hall at 122 First Avenue Northwest or delivered in person at the same address between 9 and 5, Monday through Friday, except for legal holidays. They may be faxed to our fax number. They may be submitted via email to the custodian with the subject line open records request, and the city will make every attempt to respond to all open records requests in a timely fashion. Persons may examine a copy of public record and copy of public record, including but not limited to photographing a public record at no charge while the public record remains in the physical possession of the lawful custodian and during the lawful custodian's regular hours. No original public records or documents may be removed from the premises at which they are stored. The city is responsible for protecting the security of the public records in its custody and may require that a staff member be present during the inspection or copying of its public records. If compiling the requested records takes less than 30 minutes, the custodian shall make every reasonable effort to provide the requested records at no cost, except for actual copying fees or any attorney fees that may be lawfully charged. The city is authorized to charge a reasonable fee to compile the requested records. The fee can include the following: fees for copying records, but this fee cannot exceed the actual cost of copying; fees for staff time spent supervising in-person review of records. This rate shall not exceed the staff's actual hourly earnings; fees for staff time spent compiling and delivering requested records. This rate shall not exceed the staff's actual hourly earnings; and attorney fees, if any. Upon request of the receipt, the custodian shall estimate an applicable fee to procure the requested records. If the city estimates the fee for the requested public record will be greater than $50, the city may collect the estimated fees before commencing the work to compile said records. If the fees are required to be paid in advance, no work shall commence until fees are paid. Following fee schedule shall be used to estimate reasonable fees and actual costs. Photocopies 25 cents per page, black and white, 50 cents paid per page for color. CDs, DVDs, $5, USB drive, $10. Any postage and mailing expense would be actual costs. Employee costs, again, is hourly rate for the clerical time needed for reproduction of the photocopies. Hourly rate for professional staff needed to produce or review the documents. The city reserves a right to adjust the above fee schedule in the event of unanticipated costs. Certain records are confidential and exempt from disclosure. Any records that may be confidential shall be reviewed by the lawful custodian. The lawful custodian may consult with other city staff concerning requests for records that may include privileged or confidential records. Any requests for these types of records may be referred to the city attorney for review and response. The following page is that request form, which again is not required. And then the following one is just city response form. So, any questions, comments, suggestions?
I think you'll be seeing more and more of this as people are tending to build YouTube channels out of this. Freedom of Information Act, police body camera stuff, I'm sure you guys get a lot of requests for that, or,
Not for body cams, we do get requests for car cams.
okay. Because a group out of Waterloo has hit Butler County pretty hard, and the guys over Butler County did a great job. And I see they kind of made fools out of the people in Webster City, but they'll have that, I guess. So anyway, it's just to build money for them, and if they don't get their way, then they'll sue, and that's how they make their money. So it's kind of a backhanded way to earn a living, I guess, but it's what they do. So, but I'm glad we've got this in place, or getting it in place.
Any other questions, comments from the council? Will this be on the,
Yeah, so I would put this on in the form of a resolution to approve it by resolution, since it's a policy.
On
So,
Thursday?
Yeah,
okay,
okay. Thank you.
all right. If there's nothing else, next item is the update of the 406 First Street Northwest property.
Yeah, this is the old pharmacy. I have had another company, Doug and Mark attended a nuisance conference in Indianola a couple weeks ago. And one of the speakers there had quite a bit of experience in what we're dealing with this downtown property. So I communicated with them, had him come. I think he came on Friday morning. It's an engineering firm. They also have structural engineers on staff. And so I'm having them give a proposal as well to compare with the Veenstra and Kim proposal when we get that. So we toured the property. He took a lot of pictures, and the next step is probably he'll send a structural engineer up at some point to get his opinion, or her opinion, I don't know. Also, I think we've completed the roof, the temporary repairs to the 1.5 story additions on the backside towards the alley to try to alleviate some of the water going into the south building, the adjacent building to the south, that Britt's Boutique was getting some water from. Doug thinks that we've taken care of our roof, and so any water that she continues to get will probably be coming from her landlord's building. So glad to get that buttoned up. I think that's about it, unless you have any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, that's the last item on the agenda. Seeing that there are no other items, I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron.